Hello. My project is called The Republic, a Godot game by Pate and William Lorenzen. What is Godot? Godot is a cross-platform, free, and open-source game engine released under the permissive MIT license. It was initially developed in Buenos Aires by some Argentine software developers, and it was publicly released in 2014. Godot supports C, C++, and GDScript, a script that's similar to Python, and it's mostly text-based. I used Godot because it had a language that was similar to Python, which I know pretty well. It was also pretty official, and it seemed I could get my game around pretty easily on it. My idea was the Republic. I had a lot of ideas, but there were some criteria for their inclusion. They had to be historical, fun to make, and strategical. The Republic was my final idea. The Republic is centered around Venice in the 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th centuries. As a republic, you have to stay in power. To do this, you have to get popular vote and nobility vote. If in power, you can establish trading posts throughout the Mediterranean. You can upgrade your city, adding buildings in a grid. Most importantly, you can earn influence with the Byzantine Empire. To win the game, you have to earn 1,000 influence with the Byzantines before other republics do, or if you're lucky, before 1350, the end date. The republic will take an hour or two to complete. The intro screen. Before the game starts, a brief screen will pop up saying the game and who it is by. This is the code for it. So, the animation player will play the scene. This will fade in the scene. And then you're going to have a timer, and after this timer runs out, you're going to fade out the scene, and then another timer, and then you're going to change the scene to the main menu file. Once you get into main menu, you can have a few options. You can start playing the game, go to the large map. The options, you go to the options tab so you can fiddle with the sounds. And the quit, you just quit the game, and it X's out the tab. The small map. The small map has a building menu if you right-click a tile in it, and it'll list all the buildings. Depending on whether or not your tiles are occupied, you can or cannot build there. The grid is 15 times 15. Different buildings have different bonuses, and some can only be built once, like the Venetian Arsenal. The backdrop for the grid is the island of Venice. Influence is categorized by a variety of decisions you can take. The list goes on, but it goes from helping the Turks to doing the Fourth Crusade, the one that destroyed the Byzantines. So, there are many decisions, and these will cost something, usually gold, which you get from trading posts and buildings. And these will give you influence. Elections. In elections, there are many ways to earn popular vote and different ways to get nobility vote. Popular vote is 0 to 100%, and nobility vote modifies the popular vote by negative 20% to 20%, 2% for each vassal. And the vassals will either approve you, giving you 2%, or disapprove you, giving you negative 2%. Also, in influence, there's also something called papal authority, where the Pope, in more important decisions like the Fourth Crusade, you will need a lot of this papal authority, and you can also take decisions to up the papal authority. In the end of the game, you either get to 1,000 influence, or you're too late. A brief scene will pop up saying the game has ended either way, and then the game will just stop. So now I would like to show some of the game in action. So, here is the main scene, the Republic, play, options quit buttons, and each of their code, which shows them to go to the next thing, and there we go. So this is the scene before the main menu. You're fading in, and then you're fading out. Here's how it works. So you have a sprite here, which says, you can look closely, it's a game by my name. And then there's a color rectangle, which is completely black, and an animation player, which slowly dissolves the color rectangle to being transparent from black. After you get to this is obviously not completed, but this is the main map, the large map. And there'll be tons of counties around here. As you can see, I have all of these files. Some of these aren't even shown on the map. So, these are the files. There's a small C background, and that's about it for the large map for now. Obviously not done with everything here. And then the small map, I haven't implemented most of this. It's on a separate Godot project. This set in place for it. There'll be that 15 by 15 grid. And then this is all just set in place. I haven't actually added a lot of stuff here, but there's the decisions thing where you'll have all of the decisions kind of listed here, and you can click on something to the left of them that will actually activate that decision. And once you activate that decision, that will lose you some gold, and it'll gain you papal authority or some influence. There can also be bad things for doing actions, like some of them are called lost decisions, because there's actually a chance your game will just stop because you lose your game. So the two lost decisions are the Apulian invasion and the Holy Roman Empire invasion, like helping the Pope with either one of those. Apulians have a 5% chance, and the Holy Roman Empire have a 10% chance. If you build the Venetian arsenal, some of the buildings can help combat those bonuses from the law. So I think it's Venetian wall for that, and then Venetian arsenal can help you with some other events too. Elections, I know there's nothing here so far, but this is just a placeholder for what I have. I would also like to show something else I have on another site. This was sort of an early prototype, and this site is really not that hard to code in compared to Godot. So obviously this is my vision for it before. So you have this would be like the counties, and then the trading post. So if I click one, it'll have a option to set up a trading post, and then this is one of the earlier versions, so it's probably a bit more glitched, but you can see how I kind of have a little prototype. So that's about it. So this is my presentation. Hope you enjoyed it. It's on the Republic, a Godot game by me and my mentor. Thank you for listening to my presentation.